It's kind of my goal as a writer to see how much I can make them suffer. Yeah, hello. In this video, I'm going to be running you through a few of my unfiltered ideas. I'll be going over 4 separate ideas, 3 of which are related to a specific scene, and 1 of which are an overarching lore update for the Selthians. So in the scene where Felicur and Garmok fight, in response to Felicur saying, "You can't do anything if you're dead," which is basically this mantra that has kept him alive up until this point. It is a line that Takwan said that I wanted to be this returning phrase, something that has an evolving meaning over time, something that at first means just like keep your head low, don't say too much because it can bite you and end up taking you out. But eventually it becomes the justifying principle that ends up allowing him to kill another human in order to survive. Mulling over that scene, I thought it would be a good idea for that to be challenged by Garmok. It was something that could be added to that scene. Basically, this idea came up while currently I am in the middle of writing that scene. It's a difficult scene to write. I've written it out, but I need to go back and write it again because I feel like it could flow better. Garmok says, "What do you even want to do?" And the reason I wanted to make this note was because it felt like this was that opportunity to really hone in on that absence of a direct and achievable goal. Felicur has simply been surviving the majority of the book, and this was an opportunity for him to look at his life in a new light. When you read the book, you'll see it's basically him just trying to overcome obstacle after obstacle. In some cases, he is pushing towards a tangible goal, but a lot of the times it's just simply survival. It gives him an opportunity to step back. He's unable to answer. He doesn't know. He sits on that question for the rest of the book and maybe even on to the next book. A journey to discover his purpose is his reason for action. Why bother? For him to be in this safer place and be able to finally start to contemplate that, I thought that was just like perfect timing. Moving on to the next one, completely unrelated, Selthian culture update. The Selthians do not have individual bedrooms. They have community resting areas. It is rare for a Selthian to sleep alone in a room. Even the leaders sleep in community rooms, though this practice is no longer kept after Oganda's trade deal with Kelvin on the moon. So that part is more so related to the culture of the Selthians after this first book, but the part before it doesn't necessarily change too much about what happens in what's already written, but it more so is, the reason I thought of it is because there's a human character that is forced to live with Selthians. Yeah, I thought that would be kind of cool to be put into this culture that is very different from the culture of the humans on Domos. And it could even be an opportunity for him to start changing and develop a different opinion of the Selthians, because that was the arc I plan on having them go down, is this starting point where they very much hate this alien race because it was taught to them and it was like heavily pushed. There was a lot of hate driven propaganda towards the Selthians for the humans inside of Domos. So for him to finally experience what their culture is like, I thought it would be a good opportunity for him to grow and change, because he sees it as an opportunity to get more information to then take back to the people of Domos, but after spending time with them, he changes. So yeah, I'll go through 2 more. Felicur should feel an internal jealousy when Plank says his memories are wiped. Felicur wants that too, to forget the death of Takwan, of Skyla, of his parents, of Ben. So this is I think I came up with this little note. I don't know if it has been completely implemented, but specifically the internal jealousy. I thought that would be cool because this character had gone through a great deal of pain and suffering throughout the course of the book. It's kind of my goal as a writer to see how much I can make them suffer. But for him to be witnessing someone who is having their memory wiped and feeling that jealousy, I think it would help the reader really understand like how much they like are affected by this trauma, specifically the death of Skyla. It's just like this nail in the coffin for this bloodlust and rage that he feels towards killing Kelvin, which I thought was a great opportunity to really push him to his limit. That's kind of how I saw that scene. Consider adding a confession from Felicur to Jaymus in the chapter they last speak. Felicur saying he loves Jaymus. The one time Felicur truly speaks the truth from his heart, he poses the opportunity to abandon the Crusaders and come with. So I'm thinking, I'm not totally sure if I want to make Felicur gay or not, because it's not a focal point of the story. It's not like, I don't know, the story doesn't necessarily hinge on that specific sexuality. I was like inspired by the relationship between Gojo and Geto in Jujutsu Kaisen, and I wanted to have something similar where it's like they were very close friends and there was a deeper connection alluded to, but it was never explored because the environment ended up pushing them down different paths, and eventually they end up fighting on different sides of the war. Jaymus lies, says that he doesn't feel the same. The one time Jaymus is unable to tell the truth, that was a point that was important. This is going to be like second chapter, so it's not a big deal. But I don't know, the whole thing of like Felicur being this chronic liar and Jaymus being this person who always tells the truth, and the one time Felicur tells the truth, Jaymus responds with a lie the one time that he lies. I think that would be kind of cool. So that's what I was thinking behind this scene. Again, I don't know if I'm going to go that route. I think it would be cool, but I'm not sure. I also want to have more examples of brotherhood, platonic, vulnerable brotherhood between unrelated guys, because that's cool. I just like good friendship stories. For sure there is going to be one between Felicur and Garmok. I don't know if there will be between Felicur and Jaymus. I might make them gay. So if you liked that, make sure to subscribe and comment below if you want to see more stuff like that. I could talk about a ton of different ideas that need to be filtered, different updates and stuff. So yeah, see you in the next one.